This is 22-year-old Joshua Douglas. Joshua has an extensive criminal history that includes everything from credit card fraud to grand theft auto. The reason he is about to be interrogated by the police is because on November 29, 2010, the bodies of Jamie Broxson and Deborah Jones were found in the woods in Pensacola, Florida. The bodies had been there for quite some time, so DNA testing would be done on both bodies to see if they would lead to any suspects. Jamie's body had been bound with duct tape, and when they tested the tape itself, they found DNA belonging to Joshua. The investigation would reveal that not only did he know Jamie, but he lived only a few hundred yards from where her body was found.
How are you? I'm Bobby. This is Lee.
Man, I just got a letter in the mail today telling me I was completely done with probation supervision, and I don't know what went wrong.
Did you have a monitor on you?
I got caught with possession of crack cocaine about 2.5, almost 3 years ago. And I got put into drug court because I was stealing from my work when I was working at a bar.
Right.
And I went through drug court, completed all that, probation, supervision, all the classes I had to go to.
Right, okay. You working anywhere?
And I was in the process of looking for a job.
All right. Because we brought you down here, okay, in handcuffs like that, and you were kind of forced to come, I'm going to read you your rights, okay? That way you understand. Because at this time, you're not free to leave, so you need to understand your rights, okay?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
After reading Joshua his rights, the detective begins talking about the two women found near his home.
We're here today talking to you, okay, because we're investigating the death of them two girls that were found in the woods.
Yes, sir.
Over there by your house.
Yes, sir. I actually knew one of them.
Which one did you know?
Jamie. Back when I was doing drugs and smoking and everything, I got caught up with her.
You did know Jamie?
Yes, sir.
How long ago was that?
I met her when I, 2 years ago, right after I first started getting into drugs. She helped me get the drugs I wanted.
Where would y'all buy them?
Downtown or in Inslee, back when Inslee was a bad area.
When was the last time you saw her?
About a week and a half ago.
Where was that at?
In Inslee.
In Inslee?
Yes,
what
sir.
was she doing over in Inslee?
I don't know. She was walking down the street and I stopped her. I recognized her and we hung out for a little bit, talked. I just got dropped off at my house and was going up to Walmart to get a pack of cigarettes. And when I walked there, I saw her walking down Johnson. And from there, we just hung out for probably about an hour or so. And then I dropped her back off to where, trying to think of where Inslee Ballpark Field is and that car wash, that seafood restaurant, whatever it is. I went down that way, and then I think it's the first street on the right there, where they built those new apartments at. Dropped her off right there on the corner.
I'm trying to think exactly.
He's talking about going down Airway and taking a ride on, I think it's actually Inslee Street right there, actually, where you cut a right and they have those apartments. He's talking about the dead end of Sunnyboy, those new ones, the gated ones.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So you dropped her off there?
Mm-hmm.
And that was about how long ago?
About a week and a half ago.
Is that before Thanksgiving or after, or?
When was Thanksgiving?
It was a Thursday, not last Thursday, but Thursday before.
I think that was right after Thanksgiving.
Right after Thanksgiving?
What'd y'all do when y'all hung out?
I'd been drinking that night, had a few drinks, just came for a birthday party, and we ended up just hanging out in the truck, ended up having sex, and then that was it. We hung out for maybe 35 minutes after that, and that's when I dropped her off, and then I went home.
And where did you actually meet her at?
Downtown, where I was hanging out with some people that I met from a bar when I was working at Seville Quarter. I hung out with them, they knew her, and that's when I met her.
That night? I thought you said you saw her walking down the road.
No, not that night I met her. The night that I met her.
That's what I didn't clarify my question. I'm sorry. That night that you met her, where did you find her at?
The night that I met her a week and a half ago.
Yes.
Walking down Johnson.
Walking down Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Was she with anybody else?
Mm-mm. She's just walking by herself.
And you just recognized her?
Mm-hmm.
So you picked her up and y'all just started hanging out?
Yeah.
And you picked her up and y'all went where now?
We just went up there and sat in Ainsley football field in the parking lot.
And hung out? Then where'd you go from the football field?
That's when I went and dropped her off, and then I went home.
You dropped her off with Sonny Boy at the apartments and you went home?
Yes, sir.
Have you contacted her since then?
Nah. She never had a phone. If I seen her or talked to her, just because I seen her walking down the street or something like that.
Okay. So you said y'all did have sex?
Yes, sir.
When?
That night when I met her.
Where at the ballpark?
Mm-hmm.
Joshua's encounter with Jamie would explain why his DNA was found all over her body, but it doesn't explain why it was found on the duct tape itself.
And then y'all kind of parted ways?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a cell phone number for her?
Mm-mm.
Just wind up running into her?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever hang out downtown, Mobile Highway, Cervantes area?
Only if I was going down there to get drugs.
Who did you buy your drugs from down there?
Just whoever she hooked me up with. I mean, I didn't know anybody down there. I mean, I'd only been doing drugs for maybe 3 months before I finally got busted when I was working at Seville for stealing. And then I had the drugs on me, and then that's when I got put into the program, and then I had to stop using after that.
You quit using? What about, so that would have been Friday or Thursday? Thanksgiving Day or the day after?
It was the day after.
So it would have been a Friday night?
Yes, sir.
What'd you do after you dropped her off?
I went home. I got to the house, fixed me something to eat, and went to sleep.
About what time do you think that was?
Maybe probably about 3:30 when I got home. Because I know we left from out there in Milton about 1. That's when the party finally cleared out.
Sunday, what'd you do?
That definitely don't do that. I sit around and watch the race. And then I'll go feed up again and then come back home.
Was there a race Sunday?
I watch any race. Either NASCAR, Sprint, whether car racing or truck racing on TV.
So you were at home the whole time?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feed the horses on Sunday?
Yeah, I feed every day.
About the same time?
Yes, sir.
Then you come back home, I'm assuming?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
Mm-mm. I don't really do anything on the weekend. There's on Sundays unless my buddy comes over and have a couple beers or something like that at my house. But he didn't even come over that day. He was with his girlfriend.
Okay. You seen both these girls in the news and stuff? Have you been watching any of it?
Yeah, because I was sitting there and my buddy called me. His dad works for Gulf Power. My friend Nick Johnson. His dad works for Gulf Power. He called him and told me that they just found 2 people behind my house. And I was sat there, I was peeking over the fence trying to figure out what was going on because I didn't even know. I just woke up.
It appears that Joshua knew this day was coming, which is why he is able to answer the question so quickly. He is so focused on these questions that he forgot to ask why he was put in handcuffs, brought down to the police department, and is being questioned about 2 homicides.
What'd you think?
I didn't know what to think. I mean, it was a little freaky finding out that there's 2 dead bodies behind my house.
Yeah, did you see the pictures of the girls on the news?
No,
So did you ever know it was Jamie?
no. Not until about 4 days ago, something like that, when I spotted it on TV. I mean, I'm bad about it.
Well, that's what I meant. So you have seen.
Well, yeah, like, I didn't know about it, like, at first until about a couple of days ago, because I don't ever really watch the news. I don't ever pay attention to it or catch it in time to watch anything on the news. And then I spotted it a couple of days ago.
And then you saw it was her?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think when you saw it was her?
I didn't honestly know what to think. I mean, I've never had a friend that was killed unless it was in like a car accident, just mishap or something like that. So I mean, I didn't know what to think.
Did you see a picture of that other little girl?
No, just a picture of her.
You didn't see the other one?
No, sir.
If I show you a picture, you tell me if you know her or not?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't see the picture of the second girl on the news?
No.
You ever seen that girl before?
No, sir. I mean, she looks familiar. Like I may have went to. She's younger than me in high school, but I don't recognize her. Like knowing her wise, but I think she went to my school.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
What school did you go to?
Woodham?
Woodham. So you don't recognize her really?
No, sir.
She ever been in one of your vehicles?
No, sir.
Never?
I mean, not unless anybody else said my friends knew her, because I've had plenty of people that have borrowed my truck before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I mean,
Recently?
No.
When's the last person to borrow your truck?
There's no tell. I know it ain't nobody drove my truck but me in about a month and a half. It's been about that long since anybody's drove my truck, and I honestly couldn't even tell you who the last person it was that drove it.
So that girl would have no business in your truck then within the last month?
No.
None?
No, sir.
Do you drive any other vehicles?
Just my dad's.
Just your dad's?
And he's only home on like Monday and Tuesday of the week, and very seldom do I even drive it unless I have to go do something for him during the day.
What type of vehicle does he have?
A blue FJ Cruiser, Toyota. Those little Hummer type vehicles.
Yeah, those are pretty cool little vehicles.
I don't see how y'all like them things.
You don't beat you up, won't it?
No, there's so many blind spots in them. I don't like them.
All right, well, I guess we'll just get down to it.
The detective will now explain to Joshua why he was arrested.
We've got these two girls across the street from your house, okay, in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
We've got you probably being one of the last people to see Jamie. And then also, we've got you where you have picked up prostitutes in the past. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got caught a while back when I kind of relapsed on drugs and picked up somebody.
And obviously, if you were hanging out with Jamie, then you were doing crack.
No, sir, I wasn't doing that again. I've actually given that up. That last time when I got caught for picking up a girl was the last time I relapsed. I haven't touched the stuff since.
Okay.
I can't even stand to be around it or the smell of it.
But when you were around her before, she introduced you to it.
Yeah.
And that's how you got your crack, right?
Yes, sir.
Through her. You understand what we're saying?
Mm-hmm.
You were one of the last people with her. Right across from your house. She's in the woods. And we're in here hoping, him and I, hoping that you come in here and talk to us. If something bad did happen, Josh, talk to us. We'll work through it, okay? We can't promise you anything. You're not going to get neither one of us to do that. But what we're telling you is we'll talk to you like grown men, and we'll work through everything. We'll work through it the best we can.
Yes, sir.
All right? And hopefully you come in here and you do the right thing and you talk to us and tell us what's going on. Because as you know, when we get you and we're talking to you, we already know a lot.
Yeah, I know that. I understand. My stepdad used to do this.
Your stepdad did? Who's your stepdad?
Rusty Beyonce.
Yeah, he did. So you know what I'm saying? You know, we're not in here slamming you. Not in here, you see that. We're not in here screaming and yelling at you.
Yes, I understand.
But I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you we wouldn't like you to talk to us like a grown adult and tell us what's going on.
I understand that.
I mean, I'd be lying if I'd said otherwise. Hopefully, you talk to us and let's work through this thing and get this thing taken care of. All right? I mean, we're in here now. Should be a huge weight lift off your shoulders, man. You know, take a deep breath and let's get here and talk and let's do the right thing.
That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I don't.
Because we're not in here for no reason,
I understand that.
Josh. We didn't just single you out.
I understand.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't have come got you just to single you out and to hurt you and say, hey, let's go get Josh because he picked up a prostitute before. That's definitely not how this works. Neither him and I would never do anything like that. What we're telling you is we think something bad has happened, or we know it has. We think that you're possibly involved, and we're hoping you'll come in here and talk to us.
No, sir. I mean, I can't. There's no way I could hurt somebody like that. I mean, I've had a girlfriend before that me and her had arguments, that sort of thing. I mean, she's broke my nose, gave me a fat lip. I mean, I never did nothing about it. I mean, working at Seville as a bouncer, I had to learn if a girl put her hands on her, there ain't nothing I can do about it. So, I mean, I couldn't hurt somebody like that. I mean, couldn't even stand getting in fights myself. Because, I mean, as much as I could hate somebody, I still feel like shit afterwards if I hurt them.
Right. Well, I mean, and I can see it all over your face now. I think you feel like crap now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's what I...
finding
that's
out
just,
now that I was the last person to see somebody.
well,
I mean,
possibly, yeah. I mean, that's a strong possibility.
The detective will now ask Joshua about his sexual interactions with Jamie. Could something have happened during one of their encounters, and was duct tape ever used?
Was it rough?
No.
Okay. Everything consensual?
Yeah.
Okay. Use any props?
No.
Just you and her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you use protection?
No, sir. I mean, like I said, I'd been drinking that night, wasn't really thinking. Just one thing led to another, and that's what happened.
Whose birthday was it?
It was my friend Jennifer, or my friend Nick and his girlfriend Jennifer.
That was both their birthdays?
Well, they're not at the same time. They're not maybe a week apart, but they just had a party together.
Okay. So the party was for them?
Yeah.
You said this sex was consensual?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you don't recognize this girl?
No, sir.
And when you saw that picture of Jamie on the television, did you think that you should contact us? I mean, you had sex with her?
I honestly thought about it, but I mean, I was just in shock. Kind of made me sick to my stomach. I mean, just thinking about it again, I'm kind of getting a little nauseated myself. But I mean, it was just something I didn't know how to cope with. Like, I mean, I've never had somebody killed, unless they're in a car accident.
Are you positive about the day of the week that the party was?
Yeah, without a doubt, it was Friday.
Without a doubt.
Yes, sir.
And did she say who you were dropping her off to?
No, sir. I just knew that she had a friend that she stayed over there with every now and then, but she never told me who.
Guy or girl?
It was a girl.
Did you ever know Jamie to have a phone?
No, sir.
Joshua is about to be presented with their biggest piece of evidence, which is that his DNA was on the duct tape. Before the detective even has a chance to tell him, Joshua already has an explanation ready to go.
If we were to say that we know you had sex with her, and we know you did more than have sex with her, what would you say?
I don't know what else I did with her than just sex.
You remember using duct tape?
No. I know there's duct tape missing on my truck, but I ain't never used no duct tape.
Really? Missing out of your truck? What would make you think that there's duct tape missing out of your truck?
Because I always use it. I always use it when I go out working on the farm, working around the house.
Yeah.
I always have it either in my truck, or it's in my room, or it's in my garage on top of our toolbox.
Do you have any right now?
No, sir.
How do you know it's missing?
Because I went to go use it a couple of days ago and it wasn't in my truck. And I just figured maybe my friend Nick had gotten it when he came over the other day to get his rifle out of my truck.
Okay. What if we said that the tape that's on Jamie has your DNA on it?
Other than me having it in my possession.
Tape's sealed up. It's taped down. I mean, you can't crawl between the adhesive.
I know that.
Okay. So if your DNA is on that tape, how did it get there?
I don't honestly know. I really don't.
I think you do.
I swear to God, I don't.
I mean, it's all over you, man. I mean, we do this every day.
I know that. I mean,
we can tell you when to talk to us and do the right thing. It's all over you, Josh.
I really don't know. I mean, I was freaking out. I figured I was here for something like fell on probation.
You knew. You knew exactly what it was.
I swear I didn't.
You gonna tell us how you know the other girl?
I don't know her.
Never seen her.
No, sir.
So then none of that duct tape that we got out of the woods should have your...
I don't know. I mean, all I know is I don't have any in my truck anymore.
And nobody's been in your truck for a month, right?
No, I have people that ride in my truck, but
Would they
stuff
take
falls.
your duct tape with you driving? I mean, because you said nobody else drove it.
No, yeah, nobody's drove it but me. But I have people that ride in my truck all the time with me.
And they're with you. Would they steal your duct tape in front of you? They would steal it in front of you, and you wouldn't see it? Where do you keep your duct tape?
Just sitting in the seat or on the dash.
It'd be kind of hard to sneak it past you if you're just driving and it's sitting right there in front of you.
I honestly don't pay attention half the time. I mean, my friend Nick, he's gotten it plenty of times and I didn't know it. And I'll call him up needing it or something. And I'll ask him, do you get my duct tape? He's like, yeah, I got it.
Joshua, everything you're saying is just screaming deception. Everything you're saying right now tells me that you are trying to wiggle, squirm, go any kind of direction, but take responsibility. Be a man. Tell us the truth of what's going on, because right now I can see it all over your face, and you're just sitting here trying to make any kind of excuse to put yourself away from it. You're not in this room just to play with us. We brought you in here for a reason.
I know,
okay?
I understand.
And the reason is we want to hear the truth from you. That's all we're after, the truth.
Telling the truth.
You're not telling the truth.
I mean, you're in a world of. Today's the day, man. I don't know how to explain it to you. Today is probably the biggest day of your life. What you're doing right now with him and I, this is the biggest decision you'll ever make in your life. Now you can talk to us and you can tell us what's happened, and we'll all try to work through it. Like I said, I can't promise you nothing. I wouldn't do that. And you can be a man. All right, which is what you need to do, and you can get this big burden lift off of you, which is what you're wanting. It's all over you.
We realize it's hard.
Yeah.
We realize this is not an easy thing to say or do. But, you know, the truth will set you free. That you hear that your mom saying that, the truth's going to feel better, man.
And here's a fact. Good people, Josh, make mistakes. I make mistakes every day. Because something happened does not mean you're a bad person. Not at all. Good people make mistakes. I fall short every day, Josh. But what you've got to do is good people man up, though. And take responsibility.
What went wrong, Josh? What went wrong? That's all we want to know. That's really what it comes down to. What went wrong that made this happen? That's all we want to know. Because we don't think you went there to do this.
No, I mean...
Joshua is being accused of murder, yet he sits quietly listening to the accusations. When the detective asks him if it could have been an accident, Joshua begins thinking of a solution to his problem.
And we know what happened.
I taped her up. I just don't feel right talking about that. Like I said, I mean, like, the choking and all I can't do, and she managed to talk me into, like, taping her up, like, where she can't talk, and that sort of thing. Like, so I put tape around her mouth and all, around her face.
And when she stopped breathing, what'd you do?
She never stopped breathing.
When you dragged her out down that trail, and you dragged her down that trail,
I didn't do that.
And you put her in the woods, what were you thinking?
I literally didn't do that because she didn't never stop breathing. I didn't cover her nose up. I covered her mouth up.
Joshua thinks that his new explanation will explain everything, but it only makes him appear more guilty. Jamie's body was found with duct tape on it, and Joshua claims that he put the duct tape there, but that she was alive when they parted ways. So according to Joshua's new story, she would have had to leave him with the duct tape still on her body, and then she walked across town. It appears that Joshua didn't think this one through.
That's the only thing I covered up was her mouth.
You realize that, you know, the medical examiner, when they do an autopsy, they can tell us what kind of trauma happens to the inside of a woman. Okay?
Yeah.
She was tore up, man. DNA is all over the tape. That's what we're here.
I know, I just told you, yeah, we had sex, and I ended up getting talked into taping her up.
She was tore up. The medical examiner said it was the worst she had ever seen. And she's been doing this a long time. She probably does 20 or so bodies a week. Do you always tape them up?
No. She was the first, and the only reason I kind of did it was because I didn't have, like, the kind of relationship feeling like I would for, like, a girlfriend of mine. So I kind of didn't feel as weird about it as I would with doing it with one of my actual girlfriends.
So then you knew
So I
that.
mean, it was. I figured I'd give it a try one time.
Here's the question, Josh. You had sex with her.
Hmm.
You taped her up. How the hell do you drop her off with tape all over her face? You didn't do
I
that.
didn't.
You know you did.
No, the only thing she did was just took it off her mouth.
She,
She had it all over her when we found her, Josh.
it's there. It's still on. Why would she be in those woods after having sex with you, after being taped up with you, and be dead if you dropped her off blocks away, Josh? That doesn't make sense. Think about it. Now, you can sit here and tell us this crapola story, or you can tell us the truth. You're trying to wiggle and squirm. Look, just go ahead. It's going to be hard, but me and him have heard everything you could possibly imagine. You ain't going to tell us no freaky deaky thing. But what we know what happened, we know something went wrong. We want to know what went wrong. We want to know the moment it went wrong. That's what we want to know. Because you didn't drop her off, and you didn't drop her off with her just pulling her tape off. You placed her in those woods with that tape there. And you're describing what we saw when we found the body, which means we definitely know that you were there and you saw her there in the woods with that tape pulled off her mouth. Because this is exactly right. And the only person besides the law enforcement that know that is you. And you know why? Because you were there when she was dead. And we know that. You've just proved it to us. Now, the only question is, what happened to put you there at that moment in time? What went wrong?
She
Tell us.
really wasn't dead when I left. Was not
What
with
was she
her.
doing? She's suffering? Crying?
No.
Dude, you left her in the woods. You didn't drop her off, did you? You
Yes,
left her in
I
those
did
woods.
drop her off. I swear.
And she walked all the way. That's more than a little walk. And the way you got to go to get there, I know that area.
With
You
tape
have-
all over.
You'd have to go all the way to Airway, and then you have a choice to go all the way up the 9 Mile Road, all the way to Johnson Avenue, go all the way down to Chisholm Road, and come back up or down, and cut across JoJo to get across that field. And Josh, there's no way in this earth that she did that. Okay? Not nude. She's nude, Josh. She's nude. We're not. Look, we're trying to see what went wrong. But this outlandish story ain't gonna fly, okay? Tell us the truth. Let's just get past this. You're gonna feel better, and we're gonna know. We'll have answers for this family.
Closure.
We'll have answers. You understand me? You're there. Look, let me tell you. You're not going anywhere. All you gotta do is tell us what went wrong. That's all we want. Look at me, Josh. That's all we want. Just tell us. We already know what happened. I just want to know why it happened. It's going to feel better. Just go ahead and say it. Just us in here. It starts with,
I just don't know what to say, man. I got.
Josh, she's nude in the woods. You're the with her. Start there. Did you pick those woods to have sex? I don't think so. You took her those woods. We can see where you dragged her on the ground there. Tell us what went wrong. Why'd you have to put her there? That's what we want to know. You know those woods like the back of your hand. You grew up across the street. What went wrong, Josh?
Anyway, I might be able to just talk to my stepdad.
Maybe after we talk to you for a little bit. I'm sure we can arrange to talk to him one day. What made you take her there? What made you put her in the woods right there?
Put her there.
Josh, your story, think about it. I dropped this nude girl off taped up 3 blocks from where she ends up dead. No way. Come on.
Had an apartment complex with a bunch of people.
No
I didn't
way.
drop her off in the
That would have been
apartment.
nice.
Right out
Had you
front.
done that, we wouldn't be here, Josh. Had you done that, we wouldn't be here. The reason why we're here is because that's not what you did. Okay? It's pretty simple. All we're after is what happened. We want to know what went wrong. Tell us what went wrong, Josh.
I have.
We're not playing games with you, but we're going to keep tricking you up. I don't think it's tricking. It's just us doing our job because we
I
know
understand
we
that.
know what happened. And when you tell us these outlandish stories, it's killing you. It's killing you. The best thing you can do right now is man up, Josh, and tell us what happened. That's the best thing you can do. That's all I can tell you.
Tell us what happened. Did she
have,
tell you
that's-
something about her that upset you?
No,
You sure about that?
positive.
What happened? Was it an accident?
Nothing was an accident. I didn't do anything. I just rather talk to my dad right now, get me an attorney, because I done said everything I know. I mean, that's all I did. That's all I remember it. I did that night. I mean, if I had did it, I mean, yo, I seen it right behind my house. If I did it, I would have been running by now. I mean, I didn't know what was going on.
Well, I mean, Josh, unfortunately, man, you're not going home tonight.
I'm kind of feeling that now. Is there any way I can make a phone call to my dad?
We'll see.
When they book you, you'll get a phone call. That's how it works.
I didn't know
I'm sure
if
you're
I'd
aware
make
of
it.
that. Let's go ahead and put that cuff back on,
Yeah.
bud. You got it.
Because Joshua requested a lawyer, the detectives were forced to stop the interrogation. Joshua would be officially charged with first-degree murder, and he would take the case to trial. The evidence was strong against Joshua, and it would take the jury only 2 hours to agree on a guilty verdict. Joshua received life in prison without the possibility of parole. As far as the other body of Deborah Jones, no charges have been brought against Joshua. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you next time here on the Red Tree Stories YouTube channel.